So first off, Barack Obama was famously a fan of the show. He would move his campaign things to make sure he could watch every episode.
I read that.
You read have you heard word of him about the movie?
I haven't. I tweeted to him last week. I want to send it to him, and we were making arrangements to send it to him. I haven't heard back. I know that Kevin Connolly was at the White House, and Barack Obama did say, "Get in here." So that is a true story. And
he didn't call him Suit.
He did not call him Suit. He called him me though, so it's funny.
So I want to talk about breaking the story of the film, because it's a couple of years later. You want to make sure it's as good as possible. What were the key elements that you wanted to make sure worked on the big screen and were important to come back to?
I mean, I really wanted to get back to the feel of the early show, which was more fun and light, and just have a good time without some of the darkness that we brought into the later years. So, again, the movie, the show, it's about friendship. It's about these working class guys who have happened to get lucky enough to have a break and a friend who's willing to take them along for this fantasy ride. So we wanted to get into that type of feel, and hopefully people walk out of the theater and just go, I love hanging out with these guys.
And there are these core elements you want to make sure. Did you make sure you didn't overindulge in these kind of things, that the constant brotherhood? Did you feel like you don't want to make sure this is all about brothers? You want to make sure it's got some love in it. Obviously, you've got the romance with Ian Sloane coming on.
Yeah, I mean, again, all of the stuff that we thought worked the best, and trying to remove the rest, and hopefully we did that.
I like the rhyme there as well.
I didn't even mean that, actually, to do that. So.
You're just a writer. Yeah, it comes out naturally.
I'm just, hip-hop guy.
The opening title sequence, I almost cried watching them, because it's like, oh, this is the movie now. You suddenly really feel it at that point. Were there elements of the actors wanting to pick which location their name appeared in?
You know what, fortunately, no one gave a problem, I sent them their thing, and they actually all loved it. And, I love the opening titles, and it was a challenge. How do we do something similar but bigger?
Right.
And I think we achieved that, and it's amazing how many people, I don't know if normal movies, I don't hear people commenting about the opening title so much, and so many people have been talking about them, so it's great.
It's kind of it's the iconic moment of the show when it starts up. Yeah. With this film, when you've got people like Jeremy Piven coming back and the cast coming back, was there any element that if none of them came back, what do you do if someone held out?
There was no movie. It was all five, or there was no movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, and really I needed Emmanuel, and I needed Perry, and I needed Rex Lee, but it was five or bust for sure, and that was, I said that from day one, so there was nothing really to talk about. We had to get all of them.
And there was no problem with any of them even coming back? They were like, straight away?
Yeah, everybody wanted to do it. It was obviously scheduling and making sure everybody felt, taken care of. Right. But that's any movie and any business, so.
And you're hoping for the sequel to be quite as easy as well?
I mean, I'm hoping, it's if people go see the movie, we'd love to do it again, so. Yeah.
Well, fair enough. And when you're dealing with, the film has a time jump from the end of the series to this film. What was your elements of choosing where do you leap to? Because it's 8 months in the future. But
yeah, I mean, we start, the first scene is 6 days, Yeah. I wanted to get rid of any backstory quickly and just get going, and like the show, it moves fast, and, the biggest complaint about the show was always that it was too quick, it was too short, so I wanted this to have the same feel, but be an hour and 40 minutes, and I think, I've heard that from people that are like, I wish it went longer, which is great. Was always my goal, to leave them wanting more, and I think we achieved that.
It could have run for weeks. I'd have loved it like that, quite frankly.
Thank you.
When you were getting cameos, were there anybody you really, really wanted that you weren't even sure you could get, and then they appeared on set? Yeah,
like Liam Neeson. I mean, we had talks about it. I'm like, really? Is he doing it? And we got word back. I didn't speak to him personally until he got to set. So, and then to hear that he's a fan of the show and his son's a fan of the show was really incredible. Yeah.
So getting him to swear on the film makes it like this perfect moment. And when it came down to the big screening with Vince and all these cameos, all these people coming out, how much of a nightmare was that to organise?
It was fun, but it was work, and it was stressful, and I didn't know that we would accomplish it all in the days that we had. This was a very, for a big movie like this, is a very limited budget. We shot the whole movie in 34 days, I think. So that scene was 2 days, maybe 3, and it was very challenging to get it all in. And there were cameos coming in that weren't even supposed to be there. Mike Tyson, I just called him. I said, are you in LA? Just come down to the set. So it was fun, but it was definitely a lot of work.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey!